get ready for a quick quest guide for the Defender of Varrock Quest, in which the main rewards for completing are access to Zemouregal's base where you can fight armored zombies that notably drop the broken zombie axe, as well as 15,000 smithing XP, 15,000 hunter XP, and 2 quest points. There's quite a few quest requirements here, and to take on this quest you'll need to have completed the Shield of Arrav, Temple of Ikov, Below Ice Mountain, Family Crest, Garden of Tranquility, What Lies Below, Romeo and Juliet, and the Demon Slayer quests. Then when it comes to skill requirements, you'll need to have 55 smithing and 52 hunter. On top of this, having 65 combat is officially recommended in order to defeat at least 6 level 85 armored zombies. You'll also likely need to defeat level 70 chaos golems repeatedly until they drop a chaos core, which has a 1 in 7.5 drop rate. Additionally, while not required, know that it's helpful to have 43 prayer because of all the combat involved. Now let's talk items. You'll need a Chaos Core, however you can alternatively obtain this during the quest by killing Chaos Golems. That being said, if you have one lying around in your bank, then it'll save you a good chunk of time. On top of this, you'll want any pickaxe that you can use. When it comes to recommended items, you'll want a weapon and armor to defeat at least 6 armored zombies and multiple Chaos Golems. Note that the armored zombies will be in multi-combat. You can use whatever you like for this, however know that if you've completed the Haunted Mine quest, then using a salve amulet against the armored zombies is helpful. Additionally, if you have a golem bane weapon like a granite hammer, then it works really well against the chaos golems. Then to help with the combat, I'd also recommend having 2 to 3 prayer potions, a potion to boost the combat style of your choice, for example a combat or super combat potion if using melee, and additionally 6 to 12 pieces of high healing food. On top of this, I'd suggest having 1 stamina potion as well to help with the running around. When it comes to teleports, you'll want 4 Varrock teleports and 1 Mind Altar teleport. Optionally, 1 Lumberyard teleport is helpful for getting to the quest start as well. Finally, know that you'll want to have 4 empty inventory spaces at the quest start too. Now you can begin this quest at the Jolly Boar Inn located northeast of Varrock. While you can just run to this bar from Varrock, you can also get here a little bit faster by using a Lumberyard teleport scroll and then running northwest into the inn. To start the quest, locate Elias White, who's nearby one of the pillars on the ground floor, and select to talk to him. After going through a little chatter, then select yes to officially start the Defender of Varrock quest, and then continue through the chat before saying ready when you are. And then when chat options appear, just click off from the chat. Elias should now be following you. Firstly, run north out of the bar, and then just outside of it, you'll see a large plant next to a tree. Select to inspect this large plant to see footprints appear leading west. Follow the footprints west, and near the end of them you'll see some rocks. Inspect the small pile of rocks to see more footprints appear going in 2 directions. Follow the southern trail south until you reach the end of it, and then just at the end of it will be another plant. Inspect it to see more trails appear. Follow the trail that leads east and then southeast, bringing you to a thorny bush. After arriving at the end of the trail, inspect the nearby thorny bush, and this will see multiple more trails appear, plus you'll obtain a grubby key. Now follow the trail leading directly east and continue following the footprints that lead just through the gate. At the end of the trail, inspect the small bush just north to see even more trails appear. Next, follow the northeastern trail that runs along the pathway that already exists until you reach the end of it. To your north, you'll see a teeny tiny bush. Inspect this very small bush to see 2 more paths appear, and then follow the path that leads north, which will bring you to a trapdoor. Select to open the trapdoor and then continue through the chat with Elias before saying, "Let's do it," to enter into it. Once you're down, continue through the rest of the chat with Elias and ensure that he's following you before continuing. Now run north, and before long you'll notice a small balcony to your east. Select to look over the balcony to start a cutscene whereby Zemouregal reveals that the mist in the dungeon is important for his security system before Arrav is then shown to be enslaved by him. Elias then rushes to inform those in Varrock, leaving you alone when the cutscene ends. Now make sure that you're ready to fight level 82 zombies in multi-combat, and then pop on your Protect from Melee prayer if you have access to it. Afterwards, run west into the area with the aggressive armored zombies and pick up 3 bottles from the ground. Once you have the bottles, you'll now need to kill 3 of the armored zombies in the room. I'd suggest killing the Lone Ranger first so that you can safely pray Protect from Melee against all of the others. Importantly, each time an armored zombie dies, they'll leave behind a red mist, and you'll need to click on the mist left behind and select to collect it, which will see you bottle it up. Continue doing this until you've defeated 3 armored zombies and collected the mist that they leave behind each time. So you should now have 3 bottles of mist. Then continue west and select to open the gate, which absorbs your mist as you go through. You'll then get another cutscene whereby Arrav warns you of Zemouregal and tells you that he has his heart, which is how he's being controlled. When the cutscene ends, run north, and it's time to defeat 3 more armored zombies before collecting the mist that they drop each time. Really, you know the drill by now. And once again, I'd suggest killing the one ranging zombie first so that you can safely pray Protect from Melee against the others for a while. After you've defeated 3 more armored zombies and obtained 3 bottles of mist, head east and again go through the gate, consuming your mist in the process. Then continue further east until you reach a wall, and to your south you'll find another balcony that you'll want to look over to start another cutscene. Here, after some chatter, Zemouregal claims that Varrock will be his, and then the cutscene ends. Following the cutscene, teleport to Varrock, and then run north a little ways into the Varrock Palace. West of the stairs on the ground floor you'll find Elias. Talk to Elias and go through the chat, which sees the screen fade to black as you head upstairs and continue the chat with Captain Roven and Elias for a while, where they tell you to seek out the dwarves in Camdozzal. Next, use your Mind Alter teleport and then run a short way southeast to the ruins entrance before entering into them. Once you're inside, ensure that there isn't a dwarf nearby inside the entrance room. If there is, then chat to him to make him head further into the ruins. After you've chatted to him, or if he isn't there, then run directly north until you're just above the anvil symbol on the minimap, and then look for a dwarf named Romano nearby. Now talk to Romano and go through the chat with him before saying, "I need your help with a shield," and then continue through the chat where he explains your next steps. When more chat options appear, simply click off from the dialogue. Now go a tad south and then further west through a corridor before turning and going north to the mining signs on the minimap. Along the walls here will be Baronite rocks. You'll simply need to mine Baronite rocks until you obtain a Baronite deposit, which hopefully won't take too long. Once you have a Baronite deposit, then note that if you've already obtained a Chaos Core, then use it on your Baronite deposit and then return back to Romano before skipping to the timestamp shown on screen. Otherwise, once you've obtained a Baronite deposit, you'll want to head south and then east back through the corridor and then continue east past Romano, past the bank, and all the way to the northeastern corner room before then going south to the room below it where you'll find piles of rubble on the ground. Select to awaken the rubble and it'll turn into a level 70 Chaos Golem. You'll now need to continually defeat Chaos Golems until one drops a Chaos Core. These have a 1 in 7.5 drop rate, so this can take a while, but sadly you'll just have to keep on smacking these golems until a Chaos Core drops. After obtaining a Chaos Core, use it on your Baronite deposit, which will turn it into an Imbued Baronite. Imbued Baronite obtained, run north to the room above before then heading west for a long ways past the bank and back to Romano. Now use the Imbued Baronite on the Sacred Forge beside him to start a cutscene. Here you'll talk to Arrav with his mind freed and learn that only someone who has the blood of the founder can use the Shield of Arrav. Only then Zemouregal hijacks the dream and tells you his army's at the walls of Varrock. When the cutscene ends, finish the chat with Romano and then teleport to Varrock. Now run north into Varrock Castle, which is currently being overrun with armored zombies. Continue north into the castle and head into the most northwestern room on the ground floor, whereby you'll find a staircase. Climb up the staircase twice to reach a room with Elias and Roven. Now chat to Captain Roven and go through the dialogue to be handed the Shield of Arrav. Next, climb down the staircase in the room twice to reach the ground floor and then make your way to the library, which is the room located directly to your east. Inside, talk to Reldo to learn Surok has escaped, and he then points you to a document detailing the city's founders. Now northeast in the room you'll see a flipped table, and there are some scrolls on the floor besides it. Search the scrolls to obtain a list of elders, and then read the list. Afterwards close the list and then read the Varrock census nearby just to the west of the flipped table before then closing it. Next we need to chat to up to 6 people around Varrock until one of them mentions the Fitzharmon family. Note that the person who mentions the Fitzharmon family is random for everyone, and once the family is mentioned you can skip to the next step. First exit the library and then run a little south and head into the southwestern room in the palace. Inside, talk to Sir Prison and go through the chat, handing him the shield before seeing if he mentions the Fitzharmons. If he does, then skip to the timestamp on screen, otherwise continue this step and run east across the entry room and into the room with King Rold. Now talk to King Rold and go through the chat, handing him the shield, before seeing if he mentions the Fitzharmons. If he does, then skip to the timestamp on screen. Otherwise, continue with this step by talking to Racevar, who's in the same room, and seeing if he mentions the Fitzharmons. If he does, then skip to the timestamp on screen. Otherwise, continue with this step by teleporting to Varrock and then chatting to Romeo at the town square, before seeing if he mentions the Fitzharmons. Romeo was the one who mentioned them for me, but I'm pretending he didn't for the sake of the guide. Should he mention them, then skip to the timestamp on screen, but otherwise continue with this step by running northeast to Horvik's armor shop. Inside, use your Shield of Arrav on Horvik and continue through the dialogue, handing him the shield, before seeing if he mentions the Fitzharmons. Should he mention them, then skip to the timestamp on screen, but otherwise continue with this step by running northeast for a short ways and heading into the Varrock Museum. Once you're inside, locate Curator Haig Halen and use your shield on him. As you've already spoken to everyone else, he should mention the Fitzharmons. If by chance he doesn't, then double check your quest journal and you should see the name Dominthius Fitzharmon there. As long as it's there, someone else mentioned it and you're good to continue. If by chance it isn't there, then you likely missed someone, and I'd suggest chatting to whoever's names aren't crossed off on your quest journal again. Following this, either run from where you are or teleport to Varrock and run from the square. And you'll need to head to Dominthius's house in southeastern Varrock, within the gated section nearby to the Rat Pits minigame. Once you're inside the house, use the Shield of Arrav on Dominthius and go through the chat, whereby he's able to use its power. A cutscene will then take place whereby Dominthius storms the castle and destroys all the armored zombies with the shield, leaving Zemouregal to flee. After the cutscene ends, continue through the chat with Captain Roven and Elias before BAM! Quest complete. You'll be awarded access to Zemouregal's base where you can fight armored zombies that notably drop the Broken Zombie Axe, as well as 15,000 smithing XP, 15,000 hunter XP, and 2 quest points. Thanks so much for watching, catch you in the next quest!